Huge thank you to the Comets team for allowing me access to the test server to learn about Season 2. On a small note, the test server's build is roughly 40 days into the future to allow us to test and explore future content, so anything shown or mentioned in this video might be time dated or receive updates midway through the season. Also, not everything shown will be finalized, and some minor tweaks, delays, or complete removal of some things shown are entirely possible. This update will have a ton of content from several hours of a new story quest, 3 new zones, all new dungeons and raids, a new roguelike dungeon, quality of life, class fixes, balance updates, and more. Starting off, I'll show the most important change for some players. The game now has language settings for simplified Chinese, German, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. These seem to be as complete as the English text. Even windows like the guides do not seem to be missing localizations, so I expect this to be likely immediately available or shortly into Season 2. I hate asking for this, but please subscribe so I can hit 500 subscribers to qualify for the creator event. Okay, now I'll explain the seasonal mechanics. The emblem system and void corruption system is now gone, and instead it has been replaced with the Deep-Slumber Psychoscope. This system is essentially 8 different trees where you can select one to enable. Different trees focus on different aspects, from increasing damage, increasing specific stats, providing buffs, utilities, and more. Above the tree is a passive Imagine bond system, which gives passive effects based on the total bond points obtained from slotting Imagines. A purple G0 gives 3 points, and up to 8 points at G5. A gold G0 gives 7 points, and up to 12 points at G5. These slots are initially limited by your season Deep-Slumber Psychoscope level, only allowing a certain amount of Imagines. You gain the passives from 2, 5, 12, 20, 25, and 35 bond points, with the last bond point being a tree unique passive effect. Like for instance, this one gives dream damage plus 2%, whereas this one is a luck-based tree which gives 1% luck. All Imagines slotted into the top part can also be equipped and used in combat at the same time, so there's no need to worry about leveling extra Imagines solely for slotting into this system. Also, you can equip them into other trees that are inactive as well if you ever need to swap trees for a different spec. In the bottom part, we have the actual tree. This will also initially be time gated, mostly based on your season level. The tree is a strictly vertical tree where you can only select one node per level. The small nodes typically boost the tree-specific mechanic, while the large nodes are slots for phantom factors. Phantom factors are incredibly powerful buffs which fall into these categories: general attack, general defense, class-exclusive attack, and class-exclusive defense. General attack has factors for elemental attack, main stats like intellect, as well as factors which boost one substat gain at the expense of another substat. It also has expertise skill multipliers and special attack skill multipliers. General defense has, as expected, generic defense bonuses like armor, max HP, and resistance. However, it also has something useful for life wave users, such as this factor which gives you a max HP if you do not take damage for 8 seconds, as this change in HP can trigger life wave. Class-exclusive attacks are likely the highest priority factors to go for, as they are extremely powerful. Besides generic damage scaling, they also have many which give utility, such as this one which makes a 2-second cast time instant, or this which provides super armor to a 4-second cast ability. Lastly, class-exclusive defense has 2 options per class. These are often powerful, but a bit closer to generic multipliers. Remember, only one tree can be active at a time, so make sure you enable it. The last part of seasonal power is the Slumbering Dream Psychoscope. I don't believe this will be immediately available, as it is only active within the Valley of Slumbering Dreams roguelike dungeon, which does not release until 40 days after the Season 2 launch. I'll cover the dungeon in a different video, but just know that it is basically an extended tree where you can slot more phantom factors, including a more powerful Rhapsody phantom factor, which you obtain from the dungeon. Around the world, there are a bunch of cocoons where interacting with them will send you to the Drowning Dreamland dimension. These cocoons will have a level next to them on the world map. When your season level is the same level as the cocoon, you receive 30 minutes of time within the dimension before it kicks you out. For every level over it, you receive an extra 2 minutes, and every level below the cocoon, you receive 2 less minutes. Farming monsters within the dimension gives seasonal points, seasonal XP, and up to 100 phantom factors per week. It also gives the Remnant of Dreams, which is the currency for slotting phantom factors, and a general currency used at the Phantom Factor Exchange Shop, where you can buy direct phantom factors or randomized to higher level factor boxes, with possibly a weekly sweater for a high level phantom factor. Keep in mind, the test server is in the future, so this is likely limited to below G4 phantom factors at the start, and will slowly increase over time. Seasonal experience is incredibly important, as it increases your Deep-Slumber Psychoscope level, which directly gives you illusion strength and endurance. as well as unlocks the extra nodes in the trees, or extra slots for battle imagines in the bond system. Now you might be wondering, what is illusion strength? Seasonal enemies have illusion strength, and when theirs is higher than yours, you take greatly increased damage, and you do greatly reduced damage and healing when fighting them. You can get the general idea of if they have a greater illusion strength than you by the icons next to their unit frames, with red being you are significantly weaker, orange and yellow for being close in strength, and green for being significantly stronger. Your primary source of illusion strength will come from your gear, as it has an extra stat line for this season. I believe that covers the seasonal power mechanics. Now we can get into the content changes. The Season 1 dungeons will be removed, with 6 new dungeons releasing after launch. The seasonal affix is a Dream Flood gauge, which increases over time. When maxing out, it will summon a manifestation, which will provide a combat buff when killed. I have not ran many dungeons, as running with bots is quite boring, and I prefer experiencing it fresh, so I will not cover in depth all of the dungeon changes, but most of the bosses seem much more mechanically challenging compared to Season 1. Also, dungeons now always guarantee at least one gold gear piece, often dropping a purple piece as well. Only the last dungeon drops weapons. They are no longer random from bosses or dungeons. The only exception to this is the leisure events, and the Bahamar reputation weapon selector boxes. The dungeons now drop materials for crafting the cosmetic set, instead of relying purely on RNG to drop the cosmetic. The silks for each piece can only be obtained from the specific dungeon, while the dust, which is also required to craft these, is dropped from any dungeon. While this currency is also used to craft the pieces, it can be obtained from anything. However, it is capped for lower difficulties, so you will eventually have to do Master 6 or above to get the full set. The Dreamweave Silk Shop is at the Pioneer Rewards Lady, where each piece costs 100 silk and 600 dust to create any armor cosmetic, and 100 silk and 1200 dust for any weapon. Lattice, obtained from the Season 2 precursor event, can be spent here to get a head start on cosmetics. Lastly, you can buy weekly dye packs, or mixing agents, with the excess dust. There are also 3 confirmed raids coming much later after launch of Season 2, along with new gear sets and weapons. Unstable dungeons now give the same rewards whether playing solo or with a party, so feel free to solo queue your unstable dungeons. There are now 4 extra equipable skills in the 3rd tab for your archetype. These are by default bound to control 1 through 4, but must be equipped. All tanks, healers, and DPS have a spell interrupt, a damage reduction, and a cleanse, with a damage reduction and a dispel being party-wide for healers. Tanks also have taunts, and an aggro reduction for easily swapping between tanks. Healers also now have a resurrection for 1 nearby player on a 90-second cooldown. As we should be receiving the balance patch, we will have a one-time reset event which can be activated. At the Pioneer Bureau Lifeskills Exchange NPC, we can select Skill Reset. This will return all Luna and all skill books used into non-class specific selector books, allowing you to swap classes entirely if you want. You have 2 weeks to use this before it disappears. A gear preset system is now released with 3 different presets immediately unlocked, and the ability to buy up to 7 more for 100 unbound rose gems each. This preset saves equipment, skills, talents, imagines, and modules, allowing you to instantly swap between different classes, or even between 2 subclasses. The only thing this does not swap is the seasonal tree. However, so long as your 2 presets use 2 different trees, it's as simple as just going and enabling the new tree. It is only really a pain when both specs share the same tree. Then you must swap out the factors themselves. Also, general reminder, always save before swapping to another preset, or it will load your last saved preset when swapping back. Refines can now grow up to level 30. For 21 and above, it now requires level 3 Starforged crystals. Also, you can now trade in lower tier Starforged crystals into higher tiers at the Lifeskills Exchange shop in the Pioneer Bureau. It takes 2 of the lower tier crystals, and for Starforged level 1 to 2, takes 1 Starforged conversion potion. A Starforged conversion potion is a new alchemy recipe, which requires a tokiwo dress and boiled water, and costs 10 focus. For level 2 to 3, it instead takes 3 Starforged conversion potions. Season 2 introduces several new world bosses, elites, and another will wish for human imagines. The 2 will wishes do not share a pity, and run at the same time, so you can select if you want to keep going for a Season 1 imagine, or chase a new Season 2 imagine. Season 2 imagines require some materials from Season 1 in order to craft and upgrade. You basically turn in 1 Season 1 material, and 5 willpower material conversion potions for source energy rare for gold imagines, and 1 material and 1 willpower material conversion potion for the basic purple source energy for purple imagines. The normal gold non-human imagines require 5 to craft, and 5 per unlock afterwards, while human imagine crafting requires 10, and also 10 per unlock afterwards. Purple imagines only require 5 to craft, and 5 per unlock. The material select packs in the shop are now updated to Season 1 and Season 2 materials, allowing you to select whatever you need, but the ones you currently have will not update to these boxes. All Season 1 Imagines recipes have not changed, so they still only need the basic material. Gems are no longer socketable on the new gear. Instead, it has been replaced with a sigil system. Sigils drop from open world monsters, as well as spending keys on Season 2 elites and bosses. There are 4 types of equipment for sigil embedding: weapon, armor, earring, neck and ring, and bracelets and charm. The weapon can use a gold sigil for all element attack, as well as purple sigils for 80 endurance and 25 main stat, or just a flat all element attack. The armor can be embedded with gold quality plus 500 substats, or a blue quality plus 200 substat. The earring, neck, and ring can be imbued with a purple quality plus 80 endurance, plus 25 main stat, or a blue quality plus 50 endurance, plus 15 main stat. Lastly, the bracelets and charm can embed a purple plus 300 for any substat, or a blue plus 12 main stat and 140 substat. All of these embeds can also be advanced embedded, which cost more gem crafting materials, as well as bound Luno, for a lower chance at a higher level embed for more stats. The sigil exchange near the Imagine Wish allows you to buy blue sigils, weekly purple selections, or weekly purple random, which every 10 open guarantee a gold sigil selection box. You can get the sigil shards by recycling sigils, or through the Honor Coin weekly shop. In the gear exchange, you can now trade excess gear alloy shards for Reforge stones, but this is only after completing the seasonal achievement for a full set of gear with 100 perfection. So it is only really useful for perfecting your additional stats after maxing out all your perfections. Crafting gear from Lifeskills is now the same gear that's dropped from dungeons. It now properly has a purple line. However, this requires quite high crafting levels, and is expensive with a weapon costing upwards of 80,000 bound Luno if you can't craft the raw materials. Lifeskill exchanges now connect all Lifeskill shops together, allowing you to buy materials without having to run to the specific shop. Although, beware that there's no longer a cap for 100 items. You can actually buy thousands at a time, spending your entire bound Luno. Also, the Lifeskill weekly quests are removed, with the only weekly Lifeskill XP now being 10,000 in Lifeskill XP books in the Honor Coin shop. Bureau commissions now allow you to choose to do either Asteria or Bahamar missions, which grant the different reputation currencies. Generally, Asteria is faster, but you will want to do a mix of both as they both have unique weekly shops. This can be found in the map in the bottom right corner. Up to 2 wish coins a week can be obtained now. Also in this menu is the Bahamar reputation rewards when opened from Bahamar or Bahamar shop is selected. At level 3, it has a level 120 weapon chest and a G4 selector phantom factor. I imagine getting level 3 early on will be very important. The entire story quest gave me a level 3, but remember, the test server is in the future, and so it's going to be time dated, so keep an eye out for any dream quests which give Bahamar reputation. Also, if you're watching this before Season 2, make sure you do all of the dream quests in Season 1, as some of the dream quests in Bahamar only show up after completing certain quests in the Season 1 areas. Homestead will have plenty of quality of life upgrades for Season 2. You can now set your homestead to be accessible by friends or anyone, which they can then just search for your username or ID to find and visit your homestead. Inside, they can water, fertilize, and collect pollen from your plants, so be careful about this, as griefing is technically possible. Every roommate can now also have the same number of fields as the mats fields allowed previously in the homestead. You will have to buy extra fields from Delphine. Then you can only place the roommates times the mat's number of total fields. From there, I believe it simply limits each player from planting more than the limit for themselves. Walking over a flower now gives detailed information on both the seed and, if fully grown, the fully grown flower's properties. It gives the color, as well as the shape of the flower and the shape of the stem. This even works for black, which are now called silver-gray flowers, allowing you to immediately identify them before harvesting. You can also clear the seed after planting without having to recycle the field and replace it. Be careful if you always spam F to fertilize and water though, as you might accidentally delete the seed. The placeable object limit in the homestead should also be increased, although I could not gather enough items to get an exact number. Stimen Vaults will now let you to skip up to a certain point based on your previously cleared progression, instead of starting from floor 1 every reset. It now also has a solo or duo mode. The max level for the solo or duo mode is the same level that players can skip had they fully completed it last week. This allows for people joining late to get caught up to the general level all parties will be recruiting for without having to make a specific party from floor 1. Also, Stimen is now adjusted to Season 2. The monsters are much stronger and have illusion strength. A few new leisure events have been added, such as the Boarlet Parade and Fish Parade. A Mahjong event will likely take place, offering mostly cosmetic rewards like name cards, avatar frames, cosmetic accessories, titles, and a badge. You can now preview any emote in the emote menu, and you can also set custom emote actions, chaining them together into combos usable from the advanced chat menu or bindable to the twitch wheel. You can now change your body type in the beauty menu, although this will cost a Visage Reforger. This update also added an extra head slot, allowing you to equip 2 head items at once, although some items cannot be used at the same time, like 2 hats or anything that directly would lead to overlapping. Notably, animal ears have been added, buyable in the fashion store for Unbound Rose Gems, and to go along with that, a tail slot has also been added, currently with a cat, lion, and wolf tail, also buyable in the fashion store for Unbound Rose Gems. Lastly, since they gave us the date, I will cover the upcoming content coming after the launch, which includes the 2 other zones. Moonshadow Wilds is set to release February 9th, 26 days after the Season 2 release. This brings the Crimson Foxen boss, a Blackfire Foxen Elite, and a level 75 and a level 80 Cocoon. Then the Stray Starway is set to release February 23rd, or 40 days after the Season 2 release. This brings the Flamehorn boss, the Emerald Capricorn Elite, and a level 90 and level 100 Cocoon. Yes, this means that unfortunately for Smite, the Best Imagined comes 40 days into Season 2. Also on day 40 is the roguelike dungeon, the Valley of Slumbering Dreams. I will cover this more in depth in a future video, likely with a full example run. If you think I missed something, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions as well, always feel free to ask. I would appreciate if you could like and subscribe to help me meet the terms for the creator event. I will have some videos up probably soon on Homestead changes more in depth, as well as some other videos like the roguelike dungeon.